Oh my god, I've missed this so much. Honestly, I've been feeling so isolated for the past few days. Not like I'm still around friends and everything, but not having someone who I can talk to really freely, openly. Because you don't realize the importance of having someone who you can just talk to about anything and they'll just listen. It's so like when you don't have that, the importance of that is so much more clearer. I don't know why, but being able to share your day or whatever is so, it is something. And I think this is part of the reason, like if you're new here or something, I always wanted to. Also, if I sound a little bit weird, I have a mint in my mouth, but I've always tried to figure out why I crave intimacy or a relationship so much. And I think part of the reason would be this, that I just want someone to be there for me all the time. And I have friends and wonderful friends, but some of them have, for many reasons, valid reasons, have taken their time away from me, let's say. So now I'm just stuck here. But this is why I was missing you. So okay, so why didn't I make an audio before, like earlier? First of all, I've mentioned this before, but I have to record in an office, so it's a bit of a scheduling issue. But more importantly, my laptop died. Now, if you know me, I love my laptop. It's my window to another world. My all my work is there, everything is there. So when my laptop died, first of all, I'm pretty tech. I wouldn't say savvy. That just sounds wrong for me, but tech knowledgeable guy. So nothing is, there's nothing to worry about. The laptop is dead. Yes, that's something to worry about, but the data itself is fine. My workflow isn't going to be too messed up once I get a new laptop. But when my laptop died, it died like a week ago. You might be listening to this like another week later. Um, so just assume that a month ago all this happened. But my laptop died. Oh yeah, and I'm recording this on my phone, so there might be like noise. I'm walking around. There's a really fun fact that if you are the kind of person who, when you're on a call, you walk around, you're gonna love this. So some people, when they are on a call, they like to walk around. They can't talk while sitting. And there's a theory that the reason for this is that your brain can't see the voice that's coming, that you're talking to, so it's trying to find the voice, which I think is so funny. But yeah, coming back to my point, audio might be a bit messy. Other than that, what was I doing? So my laptop died, and since then I couldn't work or play or do anything basically. All my work is in my laptop, right? I don't do much on my phone. My phone is more a tool that extends my laptop more than anything. So I can like do some stuff on my phone, but work happens on my laptop primarily. Because of that, I was just, I wasn't like visibly stressed, but my friend said I was, but I was like mentally I was like handling it pretty well, but in reality I was just spending all my time looking at a new laptop. So first week went by, or first half of the week went by, just trying to fix the laptop, and I did a lot of things. I made reports, like I literally wrote down reports, because I think they made it easier for me to um they made it easier for me to think correctly and make a decision, make a conclusion, right? So I wrote a report on my laptop. Unofficial, it's not like a professional report or anything. I'm just calling it a report. But basically wrote like what I've tested so far, what I haven't tested, what are the implications of the test, how accurate the test is, and conclusion. And the conclusion basically was that instead of spending more money trying to fix this laptop, it's better to just buy a new laptop or a PC or something right now. So I went and basically I'll take my laptop when I'm back home because I'm working outside right now, like outside of my hometown. When I'm back home, I'll get this laptop and see, either I'll try it myself like in my free time, or I'll give it to someone and see if they can figure out what's wrong with it, because it will cost another like chunk of money just to figure out what the problem is, right? With that being said, um my laptop right now is resting. That sounds like a euphemism. It is resting, like it's in the sense like I'm not using it anymore. But then the next half of the week just went out in figuring what I should actually get. Should I get a laptop? Should I get a PC? And I was so torn because I really wanted a PC. My plan was to, when I go back home, build a PC, use this laptop as a secondary laptop, right? Just as a secondary device to keep with me. But I had a lot of back and forth. Like, if I'm moving constantly, right? Like, my dream would be to make a game become popular, or like, become successful in some sense, and be able to attend GameCon or something, meet new people, right? Just get out of this country in general. But if I do that, then I have to have a laptop, right? Or a portable PC or something. But at the same time, I do need a powerful PC. I mean, not need, I suppose, just want. But for that, I need to have a, you know, for that, I need to have a place. I can't move the PC constantly. The ultimatum of this is that I needed a PC and a laptop both. And the decision was what to buy right now. And the obvious answer was a laptop. But it took really long to get to it because I did not want to buy a laptop. I did not want to buy a good laptop, because I was like, okay, I'll just buy a cheap laptop and I'll work on it. But after a lot of convincing, like different people, I got opinions, and this was the conclusion I came to, that okay, I need to buy a laptop right now. I just need to buy it cheap and good. And oh my god, buying a cheap and good laptop is so difficult right now. I scoured the internet. There was a website called Smart Bricks, and it was, I don't know if it works like internationally. It worked for India at least. It was a really good website for like sorting out different laptops and stuff. And Dude, there were so many frauds also happening. I had to file a case in the middle of this. By the way, I forgot to tell you. My mom bought a washing machine, and the washing machine was not work. Okay, some issue happened. The washing machine was fine itself, but they had promised installation, which they were not providing. So I had to, in the middle of this, learn how to file a case online, like a court case. It was insanity. Like everything happening during this time was just mind melting. Um, Honestly, it wasn't as bad as I'm probably like making it out to be, but you know, not being able to freely like talk about it was what I think got to me. Uh, this feels so good. So, um, some good things also happened. I got some calls and texts from like old friends or like some recent friends, but like who hadn't like reached out to me. Like one of my school friends called me out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere. She just calls me and goes, "Do you recognize me?" I'm like, "I have your number saved. What do you mean I recognize you?" But yeah, I couldn't recognize her voice, and we talked a lot. Like she used to be like, in India, there's a festival called Rakhi where you like tie a string on, a girl ties a string on her brother's arm or like hand, and it signifies them being like brother and sister, the bond of like a sibling. So she used to tie that to me. So basically she's like my adopted sister is not the right word, but you get the idea. Like it's a, yeah, whatever. My point is that we used to be like close friends, but after school we just pretty much stopped contact. Her contacting me was really big surprise, but I got to talk to her. It was really nice. Times have changed. Like my town, as I've said a few times before, it's a bit of a backwards town. It was good to see that she hasn't like fallen into it. Like she is still, more or less like. After a while, it does become a bit difficult to talk to your school friends. I think in general, no matter what, especially if you have gone down a very different like mental path, like thinking about things and stuff. But it was still fun. A bit difficult, but it's still fun. But yeah, going back to my point of friends and stuff, it was some good things have happened as well, but overall this was a really like hectic week. What I'll get at is, um, I did. I went about. I've made a whole spreadsheet for just laptops. I do plan to make a video on like a funny video on like a buyer's guide for India, like a laptop buyer's guide. I did finalize on a laptop, and my range was around. I was really back and forth on what the range should be, right? The lower end of range was 70,000 rupees, and the upper end was 1,20,000 rupees. I'll just quickly check what these are. In the middle of this, I also bought a mouse, like a wireless mouse, a WAS bottle, which I had been wanting to buy for a long time, and just a second, I'm can't multitask, I guess. 70,000. Okay, so from $800 to $800 to $1,300, $1,400 almost. This was my range, right? So it's a pretty big range, almost double. But the range itself was like flexible, but in the sense that I hadn't made my mind what kind of laptop I wanted to buy, right? I also bought a bag, like a really cool, nice waterproof bag. So yeah, I after all this, I had to find a good laptop, right? The higher end laptops. I'm not. Can I go into detail? Is this? This will be so nerdy. Like this will be just nerd stuff. But the should I? Sure, why not? So, in laptops, right? I'll talk about graphics cards first. Graphic cards. The I'm gonna talk about Nvidia, not because AMD is not good or anything, but I'm not as knowledgeable. But also, I'm not knowledgeable because when I was finding laptops, I just couldn't find any AMD cards, so I didn't bother learning about them. I also have another audio. I might have posted this before, after, or with this. I'm not sure, like as one audio, but that was named Artificial, and that was about AI, right? I might not release it, and I might release like I might re-record it like fully and then talk about it. But I use AI a lot in researching about this thing, and this is what I meant. Like it's so good for researching stuff because it can just bring stuff to you, right? And the research was not good, by the way. Like I almost bought a bad laptop because of that. But of course I am like double checking everything, right? What it is good at is bringing you websites that are good. I found smart bricks through this. I found numerous like CPU and GPU comparison websites through this. So it was good in that sense, but not necessarily in the sense this is just a good solution for everything. It's not never going to be, but it's a good step towards it. Anyways, back to my point. GPU. We are gonna talk about. We are gonna learn about GPUs together. Okay. So Nvidia. There are three branches that we are interested in. Okay. So. Uh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm just fumbling my words, but I'm just trying to think what's the best way to approach this. So I had the lowest like floor of what I'm going to buy as my laptop. My two of my friends have similar specs laptop, so that was my second like this is the this is what my laptop at least should be, because that was a because their laptops I really like. I really love their laptops and the power of their laptop. They run games very well, and I mean I'm just in love with both of their laptops. They are really powerful, really good, really nice. I'll talk about the laptops in detail. See, this is the thing. I wanted to keep like these audios that I make nowadays to like a certain like length, 20 minutes or something. But I think this will go like above an hour or something. But whatever. The other thing is that I really don't like making audios where it probably doesn't sound too good. But I I'll just make this anyways. You know what? I already had this conversation in my mind, so I know that I can repeat it multiple times. I might make another version of this fully on with my mic when my laptop comes. So it's fine. It's fine. I hope you guys are fine with it. Anyways, back to my point, right? So before I continue, I'll explain basic stuff. So when you see an Nvidia GPU, there is only one thing that matters, which is the number. It is a 4-digit number. It goes something like 1650, for example. When you see something like this, there are two components to it. The last two digits, basically the tens, so it's 50, 60, 70, something like that, or the first two digits, sorry if you heard that, the first two digits, which is something like 16, 10, 20, 30. So I'll give you a few examples. My laptop had a 1650, so the two components would be the 16, which is the series, and 50, which is the tier. My friends, both of them, had a 2060, so 20 is the series and 60 is the tier. Now in this, higher number is always better. 50 tier. So basically, if the last two digits are 50, that's the entry level. That's the most basic graphics cards that you can have, right? It's not gonna be better than a 60 series most of the time, unless it's like generations behind, right? So for example, a 2060 is better than a 3050. So 30 is a newer series, but it's a 50 tier laptop, so it's still a 50 tier graphics card, so it's still worse than a 2060. 20 is a last year graphic card, but it's still a more powerful one than the 50 series. What it means to be 30 or 20 series, like 3000 or 2000 series technically, is it has newer technology, it's faster, and it has more features in it, right? So the newer games will take more advantage of it, but the older ones can't. So the goal would be to find a 60 laptop for me, right? Because my friends had a 60, but I could also get a 3050 or a 4050, because my friend had a 2060, right? A 3050 would perform equally to a 2060, and a 4050 would perform more than a 2060, even though it's a tier below. Sorry for the info dump. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is the CPU, right? So the CPU has similarly generations and tiers. So for example, my CPU was an i5, which is lower tier. So in Intel there are three tiers we are concerned with: i5, i7, and i9. Thankfully, AMD has similar, which is Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7, and Ryzen 9. These are again low tier to mid tier to high tier. I had a i5 8th generation. My friend, one of my friend had an i7 10th generation, and the other friend had a Ryzen 9. She had a 5th generation, but it doesn't matches with, like, it's AMD 5th generation. It's not Intel 5th generation. I know it's confusing. Trust me, I know it's confusing. But I'm gonna just compare it to our version and say that it was also a 10th generation, right? So I'm like diluting a little bit. Um, so these are the basic like numbers that we are mostly concerned with, right? RAM and stuff mostly that equals out at this price range and laptops. Now, let's see what I was trying to find, right? So I was trying to find a 60 series, but it's impossible to find. Literally none of the 60 series are available. They're all sold out. The ones that are available are more or less older laptops, which are really expensive, which I'm assuming either didn't get sold out or are just so expensive. Like, they are now in my price range, but at this price range I can get a, okay, sorry, I need to explain one more thing. So there are three types of brands basically, or three types of laptops right now in terms of the brand. Unknown brands, which are really good high specs, right? So these are really high numbers, but the brand is unknown. So if something goes wrong, I can't really get it repaired easily. I can't claim warranty easily. So I was avoiding these. The other two are, for example, we'll take Lenovo as an example, right? Lenovo has two brands, two sub brands, Legion and Lock. Legion is the premium brand of gaming laptops, and Lock is the budget brand of gaming laptops. So premium ones are much more expensive, and they usually have much better specs, but they are more expensive. They're really more expensive. Their minimum laptops started where my budget ended. Then there is Lock, right, the sub brand, like the cheaper brand. these are like really cheap and really affordable, but not only they have like a usually like worse tier of like worse specs, but they are also much more difficult. They are also much the build quality isn't as good as the higher tier ones, right? So they are supposed to not be as good basically, in terms of their actual build quality. But I would still go for these because, and I am going for these, but because these laptops are still made by a good brand, like a reputable brand, so getting the warranty and stuff would be easier. With that being said, um, now we start talking about okay, so I'll also mention all the brands that are there. So Asus has Strix, like ROG Strix as their am I confusing ROG with Asus? I know Asus has, oh yeah, no, I'm not. Asus has ROG Strix as the premium gaming brand. There's Zephyrus also, which is more like a premium laptop than a premium gaming laptop. But Zephyrus, my friend has a Zephyrus. Then there is the cheap brand, which is the TUF, or it's called the Ultimate Force. What a cringe name! Then you have Lenovo, which I already said. Legion is the premium. Lock is the budget. You have HP Omen, which my friend has, is the premium, and Victus, which I am going for. By the way, I'll just mention that all three of us have premium brands. My older laptop was a Lenovo Legion as well, but they have somewhat bad specs because I think back then these budget sub brands just didn't exist, so they are like pretty new in the scene themselves. Okay, with that being cleared up, you are either getting premium laptops at really good specs but really expensive. You're getting budget laptops down there which are like cheap. So after like 3-4 days of finding, I found that 4050 and 3050 are very readily available. 3050 would be really cheap. 4050 would be somewhat more expensive but in a really close range, so it would make more sense to go for a 4050. The processor to me was more important. Processor basically is what runs your laptop most of the time when you're not gaming, right? Your GPU, the graphics card, is what shows the stuff on the screen. So when you're gaming and stuff, that's where it's important. But a processor is what you really need for your laptop to run well, right? So if you are a normal person, you'll need a processor. Usually a processor of i7 or Ryzen 7 tier is good enough for heavy users. For most people it would, a 5 i5 or Ryzen 5 would be good as well, but I wanted a Ryzen 7 or i7. For really premium users, like my friend has a Ryzen 9, right? So for some people Ryzen 9 is actually good, but for most people, for her also I would say, it's probably overkill. To be honest, she does use like Unity and Unreal and stuff, so it's probably not overkill. But yeah, okay, continuing with my point, right? I wanted an i7 or a Ryzen 7, and I couldn't find any 60s that weren't in the premium brand of laptops, right? All the 60s were premium brand of laptop, but the previous generation, so they were 3060s. I couldn't even find a 2060. I would have been fine with it, but I just couldn't find them. And all the 3060s were from the previous generation, so they had older processors and stuff. The current generation of processors is 13th generation and 7th generation from Ryzen. So they would be numbered something like 7,000 or 13,000, right? And these laptops, the older laptops, I would have gone for the 3060 ones if they had a modern processor, but most of the time they had a processor that was like 1 or 2 generations behind. Now so I had like finalized Lenovo Lock at first, but I realized that the processor wasn't that good as I thought. This was the mistake that ChatGPT made, because it was like, okay, this processor is actually pretty good, but I realized that it's not. The Lenovo that I was going for was around 80K or something, right? After a bit of more shortlisting, I finalized with HP Victus, which was 7000. It actually had a really good processor. It was a 8845, which is, it's 8th generation and it's Ryzen 7, so it's really good. I know I said the Ryzen was like the current generation was 7th, but I meant like in laptop terms. Usually laptops will have so technically speaking, the current generation for Intel is 14th and AMD is 8th. But usually in laptop you're not going to find them. You're going to find 7000 and 13000 series, right? So I was really impressed that I was finding this, and not only that, it was a Ryzen 7. It was a 88 processor, so it was really really good. The graphics card itself was 4050. It's a tier below, right? 4060 is going to be much better than 4050, 3050, 3060. So I wanted to go for it, but none of the 4060 laptops were even under 1 lakh, which would be around 1000 USD, right? I remember the vaguely that 20k rupees, I think, is like 200 USD or something. Let me just confirm this actually. 200 rupees in USD. Yep, so it's 230 USD. Multiply that by 5, basically like around 1100 USD, right? So none of the laptops that I was trying to find with 4060 were under that. And it's not like my budget didn't allow for that, but I didn't want to waste money on something that, because I also wanted to build a PC later, right? So I can save that money and use it for a PC later. So coming back to this was my final laptop, pretty much, right? All the laptops that I saw were either 4060, but another $100 more, or for my Indian, I don't know if any Indians see me, but another 10,000 rupees more, and or I had to go for a 4050, right? Now, on Reliance Digital, I don't know if you know this. So I was looking at all of these on Amazon and Flipkart. Flipkart, most of my friends and family were suggesting against, because also the court case I was filing was against Flipkart. But just so you are at ease, I didn't end up filing it. We ended up sorting it outside of the thing. But madness. But Flipkart have been giving issues to a lot of my friends as well. I really wanted to go for Asus, because, as I said, one of my friends had an Asus, and I was in love with the laptop. It looks so pretty, like the Zephyrus. But two of my other friends, like she and another person, said not to go for an Asus. So I decided I won't. Again, like, I don't know, I really love doing things that friends say. Like, I love living by their you know their, I don't know, opinions, and it feels good. I don't know what to say. I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, point is that I didn't go for an Asus. But my mom tried to help me. She's not tech savvy at all, right? But she tried to help me by sending me a link from like Reliance Digital Store. So I was looking at Flipkart and Amazon and Chroma. Chroma is another like physical store, but they also have an online store. These had basically whatever I said, right? But she sent me one from Reliance Digital Store. If you don't know what Reliance Digital is, Chroma and Reliance are made by Tata and I think also Tata, I'm not sure. And basically, Tata is a person. It's a person's name, Ratan Tata. I'm not sure if he's alive or not anymore. But it's one of the most reputable, most respected brands in India, right? Not in terms of quality, but in terms of service. It's basically the India's own brand, right? They were the ones who provided. I mean, to be honest, it's a really like nice story. They are the ones who bought the 4G era to India, the internet era to India. They provided really cheap internet to India. So yeah, lots of respect to them. But I don't, as I said, not for quality. They are like cheap but reliable kind of stuff, not really tech savvy. So when she gave me a laptop link, it wasn't the laptop I was looking for at all. But I was like, okay, thanks for the recommendation, I guess. I started looking more into it, and I found a laptop which I had not seen anywhere else. Oh my god, that laptop had 8th generation. The laptop was priced at around 90k, 87, sorry, not 90k USD, 90k rupees, 87, it's around, what should it be? 20 into around 1000 something USD, not much more than that. So I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. let me just look up more about it, and I couldn't find this laptop anywhere else. This laptop exclusively is sold on this store, and I was like, why? This is such a good laptop. For it had a 4060 and an AMD 8000 Ryzen 7 series. It was by far the best deal anywhere, if the description was correct, because the title said something else. The title had an AMD 5th series, 5th tier 8000 series processor. It makes a pretty significant difference, maybe not too much considering the upgrade I'm getting, right? But it still made a pretty significant difference. How is the title and the body of the product different? I kept asking, like I literally called the stores, like multiple stores, and asked them what is the deal, and they were like, I don't think they even understood what my question is, because they are not tech savvy either, right? They are just salesmen. They are not doing this research and everything for a laptop. So they are not either, like, they're trying to explain me basic stuff like, oh, this has 4060 or whatever. I'm like, I just want to know whether or not the description is correct, or should I trust the title, right? I wanted the description to be correct, and I got one answer that the title must be correct. But I didn't believe her because it didn't sound like she understood what she's saying. No disrespect to her, but again, I just needed someone to confirm this. After a lot of digging, I did find a couple of places on Reddit, weirdly enough, and OLX. OLX, if you don't know, it's like a eBay of India, basically, where people sell like second-hand stuff. Where someone was showing this. This person also just put the wrong thing in the title, but they actually showed the processor, which I was really surprised. Like, how are you showing the processor first of all, and second, how are you just forgetting to check what processor it is, or like change the title or something? Because then you are just underselling your laptop, right? But whatever, they showed the process, and it is in fact the Ryzen 7, like the better one. While I'm doing this, I me and my friend, like some other friend, my friend of my friend, I guess, we were playing, I was playing, she was watching, What Remains of Edith Finch. Really great game, by the way. And after we played, we finished the game, and I was like, let me show you like what I was doing, and I showed the laptop, and the laptop had gone down in price by 10k, basically 100 USD. So it became a 900 around USD. I'll check exactly and tell you how much I spent. But I was like, oh my god, this is such a good deal. It would be 78. 1 second. INR to 1 second, just a second. Almost there. So it basically was 900 USD, right? Literally 899 USD. Somehow, the price of this dropped last night. Like as I'm recording this, literally last night, I immediately called my parents. I was like, price has dropped. Do I just buy this? I'm not confirmed with the processor yet. In any case, even if the processor is the worst one, it will be a major upgrade over my 8th generation. You haven't heard the word 8th in so long. 8th generation processor. They were like, yes, go for it. I immediately buy it. Immediately. I don't even like think too much. It was such a weird thing because I tried to buy it. The transaction doesn't happen by UPI app. Like UPI is an app which we use to like uh, spend money. It blocked the transaction, and I get a call from my bank asking if I'm actually trying to make this purchase. I know this doesn't happen in US. Like from what I've heard, in USA credit cards can be really easily used by anyone to like spend money. In India, thankfully, this is not the case at all. Like if you try to spend too much, it will actually ask you, like it will ask you 10 times OTP and everything, like do you actually want to spend this much money? So that's really really good. Like it's really safe out here. But yeah, back to this thing. I think Indians are just like really what do you call it, very not conscious but like scared with their money, like me, I guess. Because I definitely could have gone for like a more expensive laptop and saved myself like a week worth of hassle, but I didn't. So I immediately buy this, right? And again, the laptop hasn't come yet as I'm speaking. So if this audio gets uploaded, either I'll put it in the description or something that I've actually got the laptop, or you'll know that the laptop is just with me. Like maybe I'll post it using a different PC that I'm using, but unlikely, I'll say. But the point is that all this happened, and okay, let me take a step back. I bought the laptop, I spent the money, and now I'm just waiting, right? I'm really excited, but I'm also just waiting because there's nothing else to do. This morning, I was sharing which laptop I bought with one of my friends, like Discord or something, and I see the price went back up to whatever, like 1000 something USD. So that's such a, like, that's literally one night worth of time I had, that I had to use this, time to like buy the laptop, and the price just went back up. It's so lucky for me. I can't believe it. I am so happy that I got this laptop for so cheap. I don't know why it just went down in price. It's insane. If I sell this laptop, I can sell it for more and like get profit. I'm not selling this laptop, by the way. Like no amount of profit I get from this laptop will like get me a better laptop. This literally is better than some of the like more expensive laptops that I was getting. So yeah, really happy to talk to you as well, because I don't know, there's something wrong with our brains or something, maybe my brain, but like I seek some, intimacy, not in the like physical sense, but like just getting someone to listen to me is so. And as I said, like some of my close friends have like drifted away from me recently as well. So that further is like, I wish I could just like take this part of my brain out and just fix myself, quote unquote fix. I'm not saying that if you're struggling with the same thing, you are like there's something wrong with you. I think it's natural, but I wish sometimes that I could do this so I wouldn't like feel things. But then again, when you do actually have like a human connection with someone, it feels that much better. But yeah, thanks for listening to me. Just a rant about laptops. It was such a massive, um, you know, just a time sink, and I'm happy that I came out with such a good deal as well. By the way, I have earned this laptop. Like I literally earned this. This is my first job that I was doing. Right? I don't know if you knew this, but I'm doing a job currently, and it took me 4 months worth of time to get the money to buy this laptop. I'm not saying that like even if I hadn't earned the money, I would have still bought it. Like my parents would still pay for it. But my point is that this laptop is worth 4 months of my job. So I'm really excited because technically speaking, I paid for the laptop. So this would be my, my own bought laptop. So I'm happy. Like I'm waiting for it to come. It will be another like new laptop, new customization, everything. Run a game on it, see how the I heard this from Sideshow, how the baby purse. I don't know, it feels very dirty to say this, but yeah, I'm really excited. Got a mouse as well. I have a keyboard anyways. Other than this, my laptop just dying, things have been pretty fine. Other and of course, like whatever emotionally, like whatever emotional, I don't even know what to call it, like turmoil I'm going through. But yeah, I know I'm sounding happy, but I just want to say that sometimes I do like crave, just absolutely crave like a person so much, just to. Oh, I also made a new friend in office. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last audio or something, but I made a new friend in office. We have been talking quite a little bit and sharing opinions and stuff. It's really nice to see someone just as talkative as I am, because it helps me like free up and talk to the other person, right? Like if we were to ever like talk to each other, I would always ask questions that and like try to get you to talk more, or like just like philosophical questions and stuff that like reveal something about the way you think, because it's the most like fun thing I think, to understand someone from the inside. Because I don't know, there's something interesting about like the way someone thinks. You'll find people like think in different ways, right? Some people prefer, um, you know, I don't know, some things. Like for example, I don't know, I always love talking to people and connecting to people, bonding to people who have felt weak at some point, because I feel like I've felt weak at some points, right? So the struggles that I've had as a quote unquote weak person is really, and not only that, like not only just felt weak at some point, but recovered from that, or like stood against, despite we being weak. It's one thing to, there's this quote, there's one thing to be not afraid of anything. Nobody is not afraid of anything, but it's another thing to be afraid of something and then do it, right? So that's what I admire so much when I see in other people. Something that I have done, I would say myself, that being weak, being against all the odds, and yet like trying like your best, whatever you could, right? You don't have to win everything, but doing that. It's stuff like this, like when it comes up, it feels so good to like connect to someone. But I think I'll close it here. Again, if you're listening to this, thanks a lot. I don't know if it makes any sense to you, but it means a lot. I've also been listening to like I hadn't listened to like ASMR stuff in a long time, like role play and stuff, but I had to go back because I was just so like just craving some sort of connection or something. So and I've been listening to music as well, a lot of like covers and stuff. It's really fun. I made a new playlist. It's just called Ouch 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 because those are all like sad songs. Um, but yeah, hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good with you. And if not, sending lots of love and care to you. And see you soon, hopefully. I'm not sure when this audio is going to come out because the laptop is not here yet. It says 8th August, today 2nd August, 3rd August, I guess. But it's like 5 days later. I can't wait that much. But yeah, good luck to you with the upcoming week. Good luck to myself as well. And see you soon. Bye bye.